So I'll just explain you quickly what I have done. Then I click on employee list. Then I click on Neelam. What is taking? It is taking me to the URL and showing me this particular thing. Means on the so it will come in the employee list in this particular link. Okay. So whenever somebody is going to click over here, what is going to happen? It will go to the particular URL. Okay. And it will also pass the ID of that particular employee. So employee detail name ahead. So it will come to the URL file. Where is employee detail? Okay, here is the name. So which link is attached? Details wala link. What has to be passed? ID. Have I given the ID with the help of the link? I have given. Which function has to be called? Employee detail. It will go in the views.py file. It will look for the employee detail. What this particular function is doing? It is taking the ID. So it will take that particular ID, which is 1. It will see whether the object is present or not. If the object is present, it will fetch that particular object jiska ID is equal to given ID. What is the given ID? It is 1. Okay. So only that particular row it will fetch from this database employee whose ID is equal to the given ID. Means if it is equal to 1, only that data would be fetched and that entire data will be passed it in the form of the key values to which file? Employee.html file. Now in this employee.html file, whatever data that we are having, that particular dictionary that we are having, we will render one by one. So if you want to render, what I will do, employee.name will give me the value of that particular field. Employee.name value, employee.email will give email, mobile, and rendering one by one everything. Okay. So if certain things are present, it will show that particular thing, else it will show no video. So this is what we have done so far. Okay. Now let us go to the next logic. One is employee. Let us write the logic for the add employee. So whenever I click on this add employee, what should happen? It should take me to a link add employee where I should be able to see the forms. So now I'm going to create a form with the help of the Django models because whatever fields I need in this form is same field that is there in the model. So whenever the fields are same of the models and the form, we can use the Django model form. Okay. Otherwise, there are different ways also to create the form. There are 3 different ways which I have covered in the tutorial. You can have a look. Okay. So since I want to make the use of the Django models, okay, I will create a forms.py file. See, can you see all the things that have been uploaded? It is uploaded in the media folder. Okay. It is created automatically because in the settings we had written the media file. Now let me come over here in the app, create a forms.py file. Why I'm doing? Because whenever somebody is going to click on this particular URL, I'm supposed to show the form. Okay, so for that I'm doing all these things. So now I want to create the form. So I will write form Django import forms. Okay. From Django, I will import forms. Then from, since this form is created with the help of the model, so from current directory, there is a file name models. And from that, you import the name of your model. What is the name of the model? Let us open simultaneously. Okay. The name of the model is employee. So I'll write employee over there. Next thing, create a class. Whatever name of the class you want, you can give it. Since it is based upon the employee, we write employee form. Okay. Forms.model, then class meta. Model that I'm going to use is employee. And fields. Which fields do I want to see in this form? Suppose I want to see any particular field. Okay, like I want to see name, email, mobile. I can write down the fields the name, whichever fields you want to see. Suppose I want to have all the fields, then instead of writing each and individual field, I can write, okay, like this way. Means whichever fields are there in the model, I want all the fields in my form. Suppose if there are 100 fields in the form and I need 99 fields except one, then what I can do, I can write exclude either in the tuple or a list. I didn't make the use of the list. Which fields I don't want? Suppose I want all the fields of the model except name. So means it will create a form except the name wala field. Okay. So now since I need all the fields, what I will do, I will write fields all. So there are different ways to write. Okay, I want all the fields, so I have written fields all. Now I will change the labels of this field. Why? Because I have given in the model the name as name, email as email. So if I will not change the name label, whatever field's name is there in your model, it will reflect in the form. Only the starting letter will become capital. So this will become the name. That is fine. I don't have to change this label because I want name. Email will become capital email. Mobile will become capital mobile. This is also fine. Date of birth will be date of birth in capital. This is also fine. So whichever field you want to change, you will change the labels from here. Okay. So suppose name is proper. I don't want to change the name on a field. Or email is also proper. Let me write, okay, for email field, I want to see as email ID now. So how I want to see? I will write it over here. I want to see as email ID. This is how I want to be. Okay. This is a mistake. This is how I want to reflect. Email as email ID. Mobile as mobile number. So that also I will have to change number. I want to write mobile as mobile number I want to display. Okay. This is fine. Then date of birth is proper. Date of birth will come. Gender will come as gender. So I don't want to change the label of that. State is also proper. City, profile picture, let it be resume and video. Okay. So I don't want to change the labels of other fields. So I'll keep as it is. Then since I'm going to create a form, I want to apply the Bootstrap class. How do we apply the Bootstrap class? You can see over here. So what I'm saying for the email field, I want basically for each and every field. Okay. So for the email field, forms.email info and the class that is form control. Okay. I'm making the use of the Bootstrap class. I want to do similarly for the name as well. So I will write name and it will be, it is doing automatically. So let me see if it is applied to each and every field or not. I want the name field. So for the name, the gender, select yes. For the skills, can you see the skills? It is text input. Okay. Skills, I don't want the text input. Remember, for the skills, I want to show the different check boxes, the radio time buttons. So this I will change it in few seconds. State car, let us say it is proper or not. Select input, yes, it is proper. And the rest of the thing, it is fine. Now I want to work on the skills. Now I don't want to show the skills like this way. What I want to do, let me remove from here. Let me close this. Okay. Now skills, I want to show as a radio chat button. So I will come over here and I will write skills is forms.get field, but I want as a multiple choice field. Okay. Skills multiple choice field. The label has to be skills icon proper. And since it is a choice field, let me close this. Forms.multiple checks field. Widget I have given. Widget will be a check box, select multiple, and there is no need to apply the class. And what else? I want to give the choices as well. Like over there we had given. And since it is going to be the constant skill choices, it will be in the capital letter. Okay. So what I have done, let me explain you what I have done. See, every field will be like this way. I have given for each and every field, I wanted to apply the Bootstrap class, why I have given in this manner. But skill is something that I wanted to use the radio button. So if you remember, I have explained in the previously as well. So if you want any multiple choice field or a radio button or a drop down, you can do it with the help of the model also, or you can do it in the form as well. Okay. So I wanted to show both the approach. That is why some fields I have shown in the models. Now over here, I'm trying to show the skills one field. Okay. So forms dot multiple choice field I want. Widget is this particular widget and this other choices. So like over there, I am given the choices. I will give the choices over here also. So skill choices. Okay. You can give in the form of a tuple or a list. I will write in the form of a list. First is the option, Python. One is the option and the other is a value. Okay, if somebody is going to click over here, the value that see, whenever somebody is going to click on Python, the value that will be passed in the backend will be Python. Okay, Python. It is not necessary to give the same name, but let us give the same. Let me write Java and Java. Let me give, okay, it has given me so many options. Let me write all the options. Okay, so now this form has been created. Now, so in the add employee, when I will click on add employee. So when I click on add employee, what I want to see the form. So let me go to this particular URL first. And so whenever somebody is going to click details or employee add, because I'm going to add the project as well. So that time you will get confused. So on the link employee add, it should call the function employee add, and let me write over here employee add. Okay. It did every path and the function name and the namespace may not be same, but we are keeping it same for us. Okay. So that we can use it properly. So now whenever somebody is going to click on employee add, which function should be called? Employee add function should be called. So I will create that function employee add. How do we create? We write request and then it is going to return, render an HTML file that is the employee add only. So let me create that HTML file. I will write the code in some time. Employee.html. What is happening? So this URL has been created. This URL is coming in the navigation bar. So let us change in the navigation bar as well. So what is the namespace? Employee add. So go to the navigation bar. Where can we say add employee? Okay. Here and write in the Jinja tag. What is the URL ka namespace? Employee add. So come over here in the URL paste in single quotes because there is a double quotes outside. Write down this. Okay. So now let us see if it is working. If it is working, yeah, it is taking me to the employee add. So what is happening when I'm clicking on this particular link? It will go to the urls.py file. It will see where we have employee add. So this employee add is basically calling this particular URL. See that particular URL, and it is calling which function? Employee add. It will go in this function. It will see where is employee add. Yes, what it is doing, it is just rendering employee add.html. So there is nothing in this particular file. That is why what we are getting the output like this way. So now what I want to show on this URL, first of all, I want to show the navigation bar. So let me close each and every other tab. See, I forgot to explain you. Let me just quickly show you Django documentation. So how do we write the models and how do we write the forms field? We can do it with the help of the Django documentation. In the Django documentation, suppose you want to write for the models, you can click on write models over here. Okay. Everything is being explained very beautifully. Okay. Now come over here in the fields, up to create model field reference. See, what are the different fields that we use for the model? Remember, I have used CAD field, then I've used the email field, and for the CAD field, the maximum length is compulsory. So everything, what are the different fields that is there in the models? You can come over here, you can find it out in the Django documentation. Again, for the forms, similarly, you can write forms or you can write model forms. And then if you want to see the different fields, you can see forms still over here. Okay. So how do we write for which field? Okay. So for which model, which field should be there, even that relation you can see. Yeah. Let me show you that we can get it. Okay. The char field, it is text input. So remember in the models where I have used the CAD field, in the forms I have used the text field. Similarly for the choice field, I've used the select button over here. In the Django documentation, you can easily understand, okay, where I'm writing the char field, where I'm writing the select field, why I'm writing the select field. In the models, if it is a char field, why in the forms I'm writing the text field. Just go through that documentation and you will understand, okay. Now what I want to do, I want to include the base navigation.html file. So let me write this one. Or let me write everything. Extends, okay, base.html file. So whatever is there in the base.html file, write that. And what content I want to change, whatever is there in this particular block, so write it down. And then for timing, let us write hello and see. Okay. Okay, I can see the navigation bar. I can see hello. But what I want to see over here, in the add employee, I want to see the form. So what is happening in the go in the views.py file, and we will write the logic over here. See, remember in the forms, whenever we click on the form, there are two types of requests. One is a get request and one is a post request. I've created a detailed video on this particular thing. You can go through that particular tutorial as well. Let me quickly tell you what it is. Whenever we have a form, there are two types when we access the form. One is a get request and a post request. Whenever we hit a server for the first time, which is having the form, it is always a get request that is sent to the form. And whenever we want to save the data on the form, it is always a post request. It is not necessary when you are saving the data. It has to be a post request, but it is, mandatory that you go for the post request, because whenever we have a post request, the data will not be shown in the URL. Suppose in the forms you are giving the name and the email ID and the password, and someone who is standing behind you will be able to see all the data on the URL. You don't want to do that, okay? That is why if any changes are made in the form or you have saved anything, we go for the post request, and whenever we hit the server for the first time, it is a get request. Means if I click on add employee, the first request that the form will get a get request, okay? So first I will write the logic for that. So whenever it is hitting, create an object on the form, employee form, and an empty object would be created. So first what I will have to do, I will have to import. How do we import? So from current directory and from the forms, okay? Import. What is the form name? Employee form, okay? If you don't remember it, go in the forms dot and see what is the name, okay? And the same name I've written over here. So from the forms, employ this particular form. And for this form, now created object. So for this form, an empty object is created, and this object, I will pass it to HTML. And how do we pass any data to the HTML? It should always be in the form of the key value pair. So I will create a key value pair, okay? Form ka form. Whatever you want, you can give it the key. Let us be key. The form as a key. So now this form, I will access in my HTML file, okay? So come to your HTML file and access it. There are different ways to access the form, okay? Let me first write the form only. Form has been written. Now let us see if we are able to access. Add employee, it is giving me the error. So let us see what is the error. See, whenever you get error, don't worry, okay? Just try to understand this error. So over here, what it is saying, I have done a spelling mistake, okay, in the choice field. Let us come over here in the forms.py file. Yes. So it has to be choices. I have done a spelling mistake over here. So now let us run and see the server. Let us come over here. Let us stop the server and run the server again. Let me refresh it. Click on add employee. Yes. Now I'm able to see the forms over here. Of course, we will give some, styling to this particular form also. But I can see the name, email ID, mobile number, date of birth, the gender. and date of birth, mobile number, and the skills also I can see. See, there are different skills over here. The state, which is with the help of the model. This I am telling the forms. Remember, the profile picture I can add, resume and everything. So now let us give the styling. And also, if you are accessing it this way, we will not be able to see the errors in the form. So for that particular thing, if you don't remember, I say for that particular thing, what we are going to do, we will create access each and every field of the form individually. And for that, what we do, we come over here. Okay. First, let me write in the div dot column so that it is in the column, and suppose it will take 6, and offset I will provide because I don't want it to start from the left side. I want it to start something in between. So it will start. Let me create a form. So in the form, so now we have to create a form. So we create a form with the help of the form tag. So in the form tag, the first field that you see is the action. So this action will tell you where the form should go after the form has been submitted. So once the form is submitted, we want to be on the same page. Okay. Since we want to be on the same page or the same link, we will keep the action as blank. Now we will specify the method. The method can be a post or a get method. Means after the form has been submitted, how you want to save that particular form, which method do you want to prefer? So we will prefer the post method because we don't want to show whatever is there in our form. We want to hide the data. Okay. Next is no validate. No validate is basically there is a validation from the client side, that is from the browser. We get the validation if some errors are there, but we don't want the client side validation. We want to see the Django validation. So to see the Django validation, we should turn off the client-side validation. That is why we write no validate. This browser validate you turn off, and let me use the Django validation. Next, since over here I have the picture, resume, video, different parts, there is one more thing that is very compulsory to write. That is encrypt type multi-part form data. When you are creating the normal form, it is not necessary to write, but over here we have different static things that we have used in the form. That is why it is compulsory to write. Then I will just give certain class, okay, which I have taken from the Bootstrap. That is class shadow, just to make my, form beautiful. I am doing VG light, background I want as light, LIGHT. Next part, whenever we create a form, we have to write CSRF token. Otherwise, the Django will give the error. CSRF token, it prevents a cross-site forgery. Okay, so it is a built-in validation which is provided by Django. Now, whenever we are creating a form, it might happen we will get some errors. Like when we log in into the Facebook as well, if we give wrong email ID or a password, we get errors. Okay, so that error we need to style as well. So for that, that is the reason I will be rendering each and every field of the form individually. Okay. Now in the form, there are two types of error. One is a field error and one is a non-field error. Field error is related to a particular field. What fields we have? We have name, email ID, phone number and all that thing. Suppose there is some error related to a name field. I want to see that particular error. For the email field, I want to see the error. But if it is a non-field error, again, I want to see that particular error. So non-field errors are basically when you log into the Facebook, when you give the wrong email ID and password, we get a generic type of error that the given email ID or password is incorrect. So this error, which is not related to a particular field, is called a non-field error. And to handle that, we will write the code. If form, why I have written form? Because in the views.py file, I have passed with the help of this key form. Okay, this object is passed in the form of a dictionary, and the key for that dictionary is form. That is why I'm writing form. If you write something else, the name of the dictionary, the same should be reflected over here. Okay. So in the form, if there is a non-fill error, if it has a non-fill error, then only this particular code will get executed. Otherwise, it should not get executed. Okay. So if I have started the if block, I have closed that particular if block as well. Now, in the forms, the non-fill error can be one error or there can be a multiple errors, okay, which is in the form of a list. And whenever we have multiple things and we want to access one by one each and everything, what we do? We'll apply a for loop. That is why I have applied a for loop for error in forms.nonfill errors. If I will go to each and every error, it will go to the first error, then it will display the first error, okay. Now that error I have put in the span tag because I wanted to give a class. This class I have given because I will be applying some styling to this particular error. Okay, I will do it in the CSS file. Let me first finish this particular entire HTML code. Then we will do the styling part. Okay, so this is for the non-fill errors. Similarly, for the fill errors, what we will do? First, we will access each and every field. Okay, so I will write. Since I want some spacing, okay, between the non-fill errors and the form, I have given the BR tag. Now I want to access each and every field. So I will write percentage for whatever temporary variable you want to give for field in. What is the key? Form. What I will do? First, I want to access the tag. So I will write field dot label tag. Okay, and then I will access the field FIELD field. Okay, I will end the for loop. I will handle the error as well in few seconds saying. So remember, we have created a form. It will have name, suppose Neelam. Then it will have email and some email ID. Okay, then phone number or mobile number, whatever we have given, and the mobile number will be there. Okay, so now what I am saying, the form for fill in form is it will go to each and every field. So first it will go to the first field, name one of it. It should access what? Field dot label tag means it will access name and the colon, this tag. Then it will display what? Field. Field means it will display the value of that field, that is data. Okay, so it will display this, then it will display this. Then again it will come over here. Now the field will be the second field, that is email. Again for that field, what it will do? It will access the field dot label tag, that is email it will access. Then it will display what? The email ID. Then again the field will go to the next one. Then again it will show the label tag and then it will show the value. So this is what this for loop is doing. It is accessing each and every tag and then it is displaying each and every value. So this way we will be able to see the forms. But now for each and every field there can be an error. So the same code we will write. If error in what is that? Field FIELD field. And to access the errors we write errors. Okay. If that particular field has error. Let me end this for loop as well. And for. So if it has an error, what I will do? I will display each and every error. You can do with the help of the span tag. So now, see the errors that we get now, it is in the form of the list. So that is why I want to remove the tags. That is why I'm writing strip tags. So because whatever error we will get, it will have, bullet points and we want to remove that. That is why I've written strip tags. Now the styling I will do, I will go in the CSS, style.css, dot the class name, and I want to give the color as red. So whenever the error will be there, it will be in the red color. Okay. So this has been done. So now the form needs to be submitted as well. So I will have to create an input button, input. Okay. Type is equal to submit. And since I want to make it look like a button, I will give the class of Bootstrap btn success. Let me give because I want it to be in the green color. Okay. So this has been done. So now the form has been submitted. So now what will happen once the form gets submitted? Where it will go on the same link because the action is what? We have kept it blank and the method is post. So now when it is a get request, I want to see the form, and what will happen during the form post request, that also I have to write. Let us write the code for that particular thing. Say if request dot method, if it is a post method, what you will do? Again, you will create an object of the form. Okay, and that form is coming from the class employee. Request.post, request.finds. If it is valid, save. Otherwise, return HTTP response redirect. I want to go to the home page. So I will write like this way. I'll explain you what I have written, don't worry. And if it is a get method, what I want to do, I want to show the form. We have to import this. Okay. So now what I have said, whenever we create a form, there are two types. Okay, one is a get method. Whenever we hit the form for the first time, it is a get. And whenever we will submit the form, it will be a post method. So in this particular function, we have to handle both the type of request. One is a get and the other is a post. Okay. So that is what I'm doing. So let me explain you. So when I will come over here and hit the link for the first time, what will happen? It will be a get request. So it will go in the navigation bar.html. What is add employee? Add employee should do what? It should call this particular URL, which is having the name employee add. So it will go in the url.py file. It will say, okay, employee add is for this particular link, and what is the function that it is supposed to call employee add. So it will go in the views.py file. It will look for that particular function. Okay, this is a function. Is it a post request? No. Whenever we hit that particular URL for the first time, it will be a get request. So it will come over here and see, okay, if it is a get request, I will create an object of this form. Okay, and I will pass this object to whom? I will pass it to employee add HTML. It will come in employee add HTML. It will say, okay, I'm supposed to render the form. Now it will render that particular form. And when we click on this particular form, after the form has been submitted, okay, so this I will check the button, okay, and let me explain you the first logic. So if I click on the submit button, what should happen? Okay, it will again hit the same link because the action is kept blank, but this time the method will be post. So again, the same link means same URL will be hit. If this particular URL is hit, what will happen? It will call the function employee add. Again, the same function is called, but this time the method is post. So it will see what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to create an object of this form, but this time, whatever object that I'm creating, it will not be an empty form. Whatever data is there of that particular form, have that particular data as well. Request.find is compulsory because over here we are dealing with the files like PDF, Word file or the video. That is why. And then we will check whatever data we are getting, is it valid or not. If it is a valid, is all the whatever validations we have applied, if it is meeting, then it will save the form directly in your database. Okay. Since we have created with the help of the model, we can directly write form.save. It will get saved. Okay. If you had created with any other method, then first you need to create the object for that particular model. That is what is the model that you have used? Employee form. So you would have created an object, and then in that particular object, you would have said the data of this particular form. Okay. Then the approach is little different. If you want to see that in detail, you can go through the tutorial as well. Okay. So now, and once the form is saved, I want to go to the home page. So this is all the logic about it. Now let us see what mistake I have done, because I'm not able to see the submit. I am not able to see the button. Okay. Input type, come over here. Now I'm not able to see the input button properly. So for that, okay, so mistake that I have done is I have written wrong spelling of input. I can see the input button now. Next thing, the offset spelling also I have done. State. So I've done a lot of spelling mistake, I think. Okay, this is done. Now let us give some more styling to this form. So let us give, this is also the mistake that I have done. I've done a lot of mistake, I can see. So, and rounded. So let us see what this will do. Okay. So now this is more rounded and the spacing has been provided for. And for each field also, what we will do, we will put it in the div tag. So this field, we will put in a div tag. So div tag. So this will start and this will end over here. Okay. And I will provide a class. I will make the use of the bootstrap class. Suppose I will give a margin of 3. Margin from the bottom 3. Okay, now can you see? The form is proper. I can see name, email, mobile number, date of birth. I will give in the form of the calendar. Will give in some time. Then I can see all the skills. We can have the skills 9 by 9. Okay, in one line as well. Date, state. We can see state. Choose profile picture also. Resume as well. Video also. Okay, it is working properly. Now let us work on the date field. So to have the date field, let us write date field jQuery. You can get it online. So just click on this particular link. Okay, so okay, so can you see there are different format that you can select. So let me select this particular format, and for this particular format you can see the source. We have to write this particular code. Okay, so first thing is what I need to have. This is done. So I need the date picker row. This links are needed. So I will copy the links from here and I will paste it in my base.html file. Okay, so let us copy this link tag, go in the base.html. Okay, the link tags will come over here. Let us format this properly. Okay. Then what we have the script tags. Copy the script tags as well. After this div tag is for this one. Paste it. And the function, copy the functions as well. And paste the function. The function. Okay. Now can you see? We have given the class over here is date picker. Okay, class.id. We have given the ID as date picker to what? Suppose to this field I want to apply the calendar. So over here I have to give that ID, and that ID I am given over here. So for which field I want to apply date picker, so just copy the ID. I want to apply to the field that is date of birth. Where is my date of birth? This field. Okay. So come over here, and in this particular field you can apply now the class. Okay. So this is done. Now you will do what? You will put a comma over here, and you will provide a class. Your ID was there, and here either in the double or a single quotes, and the class is date picker. And okay, this is proper now. Okay, by mistake, I have to write this in the form of a dictionary. Okay. So now this is done. Let us come over here. So now let us come over here. Let us refresh and see. See, it is working properly. I'm getting the calendar. Let me write the name as show, because I want to see whether it is really working or not. Okay. Let me give some mobile number. Gender is suppose male. Let me select something. State. Let us select profile picture. Any profile picture you can take. select the resume, select the video, okay, and click on submit. Now let me see, the show data is there. Can I see the details? Yes. Can I download? Yes, I'm able to download. So everything is working fine. Add employee card, the concept is working fine. So now we are able to see the list of all the employees. We are able to see the detail. We can add the employees. Now the only operation that is remaining is what? Update and delete. So when you click on this, when I click on edit, it should what? We should be able to edit this particular thing. Okay. And when I click on delete, I should be able to delete. Okay. So we will work for that as well. Yeah. So now we will see the update operation. Like in the add employee, we can see a form. Whenever we will click on the update button, the same form should appear, but it should be filled with the data of that particular person. Meaning, if I click on this particular employee, and when I click on edit, a similar form should open up, and that form should be filled with that particular person data. And if we do any changes and we click on save, those data should be saved in the backend. Okay. So when I click on edit, what is going to happen? It will open a page. And that page is going to have a form which will be filled with the data of this particular employee. Suppose if ID is 1. Suppose now I will go on the second employee. Suppose I use this employee. And if I click on the edit, what will happen? Again, the same form should open. But again, the data of this particular user should be there. Now, suppose the ID is 2. So what it is happening? We are going to open the same page again and again. Means the URL will be same, but the data has to be different depending upon the user. Means we are going to use the dynamic URL. In the dynamic URL, what we are supposed to do? We are supposed to give the URL and also pass the primary key. And the primary key for our database is what? ID. So that we can uniquely identify for which user we are updating the data. Okay. So now let us start working on that. Let us go to the project. Now this is the edit button. This edit button is where? In the employee detail. Okay, in the employee detail, you will find this button. There are multiple ways to do it. We can do with the help of the anchor tag, with the help of the form tag, with the help of the input button, and there are so many other options as well. Okay, so let me show you one. Let me show you the anchor tag option. And for the delete button, I will show you the form. See, it is not compulsory that for the edit, we are supposed to use anchor only. We can use the form also. Okay. And for the delete, we can use the anchor or form. Okay. It depends upon how you want to do it. So now let me create with the help of the anchor tag this button. Okay. Let me first create, then I need to remove that code anchor tag. You can give the name to the button as edit. You will have to give the URL with the help of the Jinja tag. You will write URL. Okay. I have not created a URL. I will create in some time. So let me write employee update. And with this URL, I'm supposed to pass a unique ID. How I will get the ID? If you remember, this details, employee detail, we are passing this data, employee data. So you come over here and write in scroll down. Yes, we are right employee.id. Okay. So now with the help of this particular command, it will be able to access the ID. Now when you are creating the URL, go in the urls.py file, create a URL. Let me copy this one and write employee update. Need to create a function. Whatever name you want, you can give it. And the name will be same that you have given over here. What name we have given? Employee update. So same name you give it over here. Employee update. Otherwise it will give the error. See, we are passing the ID as well. So that ID also we need to accept over here. Since it is in the form of the integer, I will write I integer. If you don't know whether it is slug, integer or what, you can directly write ID. No need to specify the type as well. Okay. But since I know, I'm using ID. Yes, and acceptable, you can write like this. ID as well. Okay. Now, I will create a function, employee update. Whenever the URL is created, a function has to be created. So let me write this. It will be request. And since I'm passing the ID, I have to accept the ID. And now I'm going to show what? Okay, this is providing the code. Let me just write down the code and I'll explain you what we have written. Okay, so this is a code which is done. See, whenever we create a form, remember we have two type of method. One is a get method and a post method. So whenever we create a function, we have to write both we have to, handle both the type of request. So when it is a get request, what is going to happen? We will show the form, but this time the form won't be an empty form. It will be filled with the data of the user. Okay. So this is doing get object of 404 mails. What it will do in the employee database. Remember, this is our model. So in the employee model, it will go and it will check. There are so many data in your model. Okay, so it will check only that particular row I want where the ID is equal to ID. So if there are 10 entries, only one entry will have the given ID. So it will say, okay, this entry is having that ID, take that and create an object of that particular row. That is what it's doing. So in the over here, what it is doing, then is it a post request? No. First we are writing for the get request. So this will be skipped. It will come over here in the else block. It will create what we want to create a form now on that page. So we are creating an object for this employee form. Okay, all these things are created over here and here, if you remember. Okay, so now for this form, it has created the object, but this time we don't want a blank form. If we wanted a blank form, we would have written like this way, nothing in the brackets. But since we want the form, we should be the field data. What data did this employ? That is why we have written instance is equal to employee. Means again you create an object of the form, but this time the form should have the data of this particular employee. Okay, and then we are passing it to an HTML page, that is employee update.html in the form of the key. Okay, now in the form of a dictionary. So now I have to create this particular HTML page. The post request I will explain in some seconds. Let us first create this HTML page. Now in this HTML page, it will be similar to what we have written in the header. Okay, why it will be similar, I will explain that as well. So here we have to show what a form. So what I have done, I have created a form 10. So I have created a form 10 is blank, because whenever the form is submitted, I want it to hit the same URL. It should be on the same URL only. Method is post. Whenever the form is saved, I want it should be saved with the help of the post request. No validate, browser validations we are removing, because it is having different types of data. And this is some class I am given, Bootstrap, just to make it presentable. Okay, CSRF token again. You will check if there is fill error, non-fill error. If there is non-fill error, render each and every error one by one. Then we will go for each and every fill. We have to first give the tags, then the values. And if the fill has an error, check for the errors and then the button submit. So whenever you are creating the form, now the code for the form will always be same. So once you have understood one code of the form, just copy paste it other HTML page as well. Okay, there is nothing new. Now let us come over here, the post request. If the happening over here in the post request, now the form has been submitted. So now what is happening? The form has been, so in the get request, we were having the form and certain values in the form. Now suppose I have changed one of the entries. Now what will happen? And we click on the save button. So when the save button will be clicked, it will be a post method, because I have specified there. The same URL will be hit again. The same function would be called again. Again, it will do what? It will get that particular object. So it will go in the database. It will check the ID. Okay, the ID is 1. Again, create an object of that particular row. The object has been created. Now, if the request.method is post, it will check, yes, the method is post now. Create this form will be created. Object of this form will be created. And this time, the form object will have the data which we are getting with the help of the post request. Request.file is compulsory. whenever, we have a fields like PDF and the videos, all these fields, instance is equal to employee. Means what I'm saying, on this particular employee, we are having the instance. Okay. Now if the form is valid, form dot save means now if it will check whether the form is valid or not. If this form is valid, it will get saved in that particular instance where employee is which object, this object. So it will be saved over here. So again, I will explain what we are doing. We are just taking up the form. We are fetching from this particular database which employees we need. Suppose I need this employee. I'm creating an object. Okay, then I'm taking the form with the field data. And if the form is valid, I will save it in this particular instance. It will go in the backend and it will save it. Okay, and after it has been saved, it will redirect you to the home page. Okay, it will take you to the home page. So let us see if our project is working fine. So on the edit, okay, so I forgot to remove that edit button. I was going to remove it now. So come over here, see the details. Let us remove this edit button. Let me use a class so that, the button is in, have it in the form of button. Okay. Let us come back. Let us refresh it. See, edit button. When I will click on this, this is Neelam 11. So it is going to the employee update, the ID that is past one. We can see the detail of Neelam 11 is shown. Now there is one problem with this. Okay. Whatever skills are there, that should already be ticked over here, but that is not happening. How we can do it, we'll see. Suppose right value was saved. Now, okay. So now if I click on save, let me do some changes over here. See them. Let us click on save. This field is required. Now click on save. Yes, it is getting changed. Now again, let me click on edit. Let me save it back. HTML and CSS. Save it. Okay, see, it is getting saved. Now what is happening when I click on the, well, there is one problem over here. So for this employee, there is a skill HTML and CSS. Okay, when I click on edit, all the things are, preferred with the given values, but this is not getting selected. So if you want, this also should be pre-selected. We will have to write the certain code in the views.py file. So go in the views.py file and write down. So it is when the form is getting, when you are hitting the URL for the first time and when you are seeing that particular form, that time you want those skills now. So over here, what we will do, whatever name you want, you can give it to the object. Okay. This is just an object now, a variable. Whatever name you want, you can give it. So object skills is equal to or skillings employed of skill. Okay, yeah. So now what is happening? Let me explain you. Let me write this. Okay, now let me explain you this. Now, let me explain you this with the help of the example. Suppose I have not written this over here. Okay, then what output I will get? Suppose I am writing list comprehension skill for skill in employee.skills.split. Okay, employee.skills will do what? It will give a list like this way. Okay, it will go to that particular object, and of that object, it will fetch the skill which will be in the form of a list, because if you remember in the backend, if you will go in the backend, you click on admin, write all the data. See, it is in the form of the list. So employee.skills will give this particular list. Okay. So now we have this particular list with us. Now in the front end, we want to give each and every data to the form. So what we are doing, we are applying list comprehension for skill in this. Means it will go to each and every element on this particular list. And what it will do, wherever it will find out the comma, it will split. Okay. And suppose I have not written this. So for skill in employee.skills, it will come over here. It will split wherever it is finding out the comma, and it will convert into Python. Again, it will find out, okay, this is a comma, convert into Java. Again, there is a comma, split it into JavaScript. Again, there is a comma, Scratch. So this is how it is getting converted. And since it is what a list, comprehension, and outside list will be created. So this is not how we want to pass in the backend. We want to pass it in the form of a list only. That is why after applying the list comprehension is after accessing each and every values, okay, what we are doing, we are writing dot strike. Strike means basically means what? We are removing wherever it finds a single quotes. There is a single quotes, remove. If there is a brackets, see there is opening bracket, remove. This is single quote of Python only, but that is a string. This it will remove. It will remove this. This is a single quote of the string that it will edit it. Then it will remove this. It will remove this. It will remove this. Remove, and remove, and then you will get like this the type of a string. So I've applied a list comprehension because I want to access each and every field of that particular list, and wherever it has a comma, I want to split. And after that, the list will be created like this way. But what I want, wherever there is a single quotes or a opening or a closing bracket, remove that so I can get a list like this way. So that is why I've written this way. Now I want to pass this particular thing also in the form, okay, because the form is not able to display this. Okay, that is why we have written the entire code. So now initial is equal to the form of a dictionary. Skills is what the object we have created is. Okay, now the code is proper. So here what we are saying, the initial values, okay. So we are using the word initial because whenever the form will open, we want to pass the initial values to that particular form. So that is why the word is initial, the keyword. And over here, the skills have been written because in the forms, okay, in the form we have used the word skills, okay. So that is why the skills has to be written. This is the object that we have created. So whatever name you want, you can give it. But for the initial, you will have to write initial, and this field will depend upon what name we have given in this particular form, okay. So now we have passed that particular data, okay, to this particular form. And now let us see if it is working properly or not. Let us go to the home page. VLAN 11. Oh, it is not having any skills. So let us see. It is having so many skills. Okay. So let us click on edit. Yes. See, now it is getting selected. So that problem is also solved. And we can click on save. So we have seen update operation. Now let us see the delete operation. When I click on delete, this particular data should get deleted. Before that, let me explain you. When we click on the update button, okay, edit button, what is happening? We are calling this particular URL. See, on the details page, when we click on the edit button, which URL it is calling? Employee update. So it is calling which employee update, this particular URL. And this URL is calling which function? Employee update. So this function is getting called employee update when it is a GET request. After that, what is happening? After that particular thing, it is calling this HTML page. In this HTML page, okay, it will render what? It will show the form. And when we click on the save button, what is happening? Again, the same URL will be called. Same URL means again this URL will be called. Means the same function will be called again. And this function now will be a post request. So what we are doing? Whenever the form is updated or whenever we create the employee, we want to call the same function again. That is why what we are doing? We are keeping the action as blank. But when we are deleting this particular thing, when I'm clicking on delete button, okay, I will create with the help of the form tag. So I have explained this because now you will get confused why over here I'm giving the URL. The action may URL. That is why I have explained that. Let me explain. See, the delete button you can create with the help of the anchor tag or the form tag. I'm creating with the help of the form tag. Here I will give the URL. Why I will give the URL is this particular form is getting submitted. Which URL it should hit? Earlier it was clear. So that particular form is getting called with the help of this particular function. So the same function should be called again. But here we haven't mentioned which particular URL is calling this particular form. इसलिए we have to mention the action. See, over here, if you remember, we were calling this form, okay? Whenever this particular function was getting hit, the object was getting created, that object was calling the form, and the form was getting saved. Again, the same URL was getting hit again, then the same function was calling, and then the object ka data was getting saved, okay? So this is how the form was getting called. But over here, the form is not getting called. With the help of the link, we are calling the form. So after the form has been saved or a form is saved, where it should go, okay, I will have to provide the link. For that, I'm writing the link over here with the help of the URL tag. Okay. I forgot to write the Jinja tag. Let me write. Since you know how to write now, I'm using shortcuts. Okay. Delete. This is what delete employee. And which employee data I want to delete. Again, I will have to specify now. I don't want to delete the entire database. Yes. So like in the update, we will specify which employee we have to update. Here I will specify which, data I want to delete. So I've written that particular thing. In the form, we have to specify the method. I will be using the post method because I don't want to show on the URL. And the class, I will provide the line. And whenever we are writing the form, we have to write the serif token. In the form, we need to provide the input button. When the button will be clicked, then only the form will get submitted now. So submit. And I will use this class of delete button because I want to show it in the red color. Now I can delete this button. Now, and value is what? Delete. I want to show us delete. Delete. Okay, the name of the button. Okay, so this has been written. So what is saying, whenever somebody is going to click on this button, what is going to happen? This URL will be called. So I have to create this URL. So I will go in the urls.py file. I will create a URL. Copy this. Paste this. Employee delete. Since we are passing the ID, we are accepting the ID in the URL. Employee delete is a function that we will create. And what name we had given? We had given delete employee. So I will give the same name over here. Okay. What is the name that we have given? Delete employee. So here there is a spelling mistake. Here also I will write the same thing. Okay. Employee and employee. So if there is a spelling mistake, remember it will give you the error. So now let us create this function. Go in the views.py file. Create a function delete, which will be take what? We are taking the ID. Okay. Somewhere you will see persons are writing the PK. That is also fine. We are passing the ID. So now what it will the database? There are so many rows. Which row ka instance it has to create wherever the ID is equal to ID. So from this particular model, fetch that particular row wherever the ID is equal to the given ID. Suppose the ID that you have passed is 2. So means second row will be fetched. Okay, create an instance and that particular instance you delete. Go in this and delete that particular instance. And then we are going back to the employee list one page. Okay, so this is what the code is. Now, let us come over here, employee list, data, let us click on delete. Okay, we will apply the class as well. See, it is getting deleted. So this is working fine. Now let us go to the forms.py file and let us go to the employee and let us see why this is not coming properly. All the buttons are coming one below the other now. So let us see what class is next to be done. Okay, the spelling mistake is inline the spelling I have done wrong. Now it should work. Okay, see, it is coming in live. Now this back button is taking you to this particular link. Okay, that is also working fine. So now we have seen all the 4 operations, that is create, read, update and delete. Okay, now let us move on to the next model. See, all these models, I will be covering it very quickly because the same things will get repeated again and again. The only thing that we have to see how I have created the models and how they are interacting with each other. Okay, so now let me first create a model for the project. So go over here in the models.py file. I'll explain everything again in the end. What we have done in the models.py file, that is this. Okay, let us create the model.
So before we end, kindly like and subscribe the channel as it will boost me to create many more videos, and I will be coming with the next video very soon. Till that time, if you have any doubts in any video, kindly write down in the comment box. I will give you the replies. Thank you. Bye.